Breaking news, Adam Schiff is officially in panic mode, and President Trump just made the most explosive move since returning back to office. Guys, troops are on the ground in Los Angeles, and folks, this is not just a protest anymore. This is an outright insurrection. Guys, these rioters are burning businesses. When did we see that last? Was it 2020? That kind of reminds me of the whole Antifa, BLM movement. Guys, rioters are burning businesses. They're flying foreign flags in the air. They're assaulting ICE agents in broad daylight. President Trump has clearly had enough at this point. And while Adam Schiff tries to spin the narrative, new intel just surfaced that could end his career. In today's video, I'm going to expose Adam Schiff's connections to radical activist groups that are fueling the chaos. We're going to reveal the DHS report that just dropped, and we're going to unpack President Trump's full federal strategy to take back control of LA with or without Gavin Newsom's permission. And if you think that this just can't get any worse, guys, just wait until you see what Adam Schiff endorsed while these mobs attacked law enforcement right in the streets. So stay tuned, because in the next couple minutes, you're going to understand exactly why this moment might finally destroy California's sanctuary grip on America, and why Trump's next move could change the course of the 2026 elections. So let's start with exactly what set this firestorm off, because folks, this didn't happen overnight. The truth is, Los Angeles has been essentially teetering on the edge for days, and now it's finally boiling over. By the way, if you appreciate the daily news updates, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So riots have broken out across multiple neighborhoods in LA. Guys, we're talking arson, looting, physical assault happening in broad daylight. Federal buildings have been vandalized, ICE offices targeted, LAPD units ambushed, and the crowds aren't hiding who they're with. Mexican flags, Guatemalan banners, even Palestinian symbols are waving in the chaos. This isn't what you would call a peaceful protest by any stretch of the imagination. This is foreign flag mobs clashing with U.S. law enforcement in our own streets. And wait until you hear who has been helping fund some of the chaos. Your taxpayer dollars are involved, by the way. So we're going to talk about that in a second. So federal officers, they're being pelted with bricks, cement, shattered glass, you name it. Videos are surfacing left and right showing masked rioters vandalizing patrol vehicles, flipping them over, spraying anti-ICE graffiti on city property. Oh, and it gets worse. Small business owners are caught in the middle. Some are literally wiping tear gas from deputies' eyes, treating them after brutal assaults. These people didn't sign up for this war zone. These are just mom and pop shops, guys. And you want to know who's still calling this a peaceful protest? Just wait until we get to Adam Schiff's statement, guys. But first, President Trump, he pulled the pin. President Trump sends in the troops, and ICE drops the report that exposes exactly who these rioters are protecting. And of course, we need to talk about the second-degree murder, child abuse, and a whole lot more stuff that just came out. Now, most people never even know what they could have saved until it's too late. Julie from Kansas, though, she trusted a local broker and she got stuck with an overpriced plan. She got screwed over. Chapter, though, they stepped in and they helped her switch. And now she's saving $400 a year. Leslie Taylor, she saved $1,000 a year just by getting the right advice. So don't leave any money on the table, guys. Give our friends at Chapter a call right now. Phone number is 909-563-8279, or you can hit them up on the web at askchapter.org/Ron. Guys, Chapter compares every medical plan so you don't get stuck with the wrong one and overpay. So if you reach out to Chapter and you're able to save, do me a favor. Do like everyone else has done so far. Hit me up in the comments and let me know exactly how much you were able to save. I can't wait to hear the good news. Anyway, President Trump didn't hesitate. As chaos ripped through Los Angeles, he gave the order. 2,000 National Guard troops deployed immediately. His message, crystal clear. This is not a protest. It's an insurrection against federal authority. He called out California's leadership for standing down, and he's not bluffing, guys. If the violence continues, he says the U.S. Marines are next. This is no longer a state issue. This is a matter of national security. And the reason Trump acted so fast, it wasn't just the burning cars. It was the people ICE was hunting down. And trust me, guys, when you hear who they are, you're going to be furious that they're walking free in California right now. Now, according to DHS, during just one 48-hour sweep this week, ICE arrested 11 violent criminal aliens. And folks, these aren't your average overstays. These are hardened criminals from Ecuador, Peru, and beyond. Guys, we're literally talking charges like second-degree murder, sexual battery, child abuse, armed assault. These are people who should have never been here to begin with, or they should have been deported years ago. Instead, California protected them, and now the streets are paying the price. And yet, what are protesters demanding? Their release. Seriously? Angry mobs are throwing bottles at law enforcement because ICE dared to remove predators from our communities? But here's where it gets even uglier, because guess who's been defending these mobs? Adam Schiff. And we just uncovered receipts that connect Adam Schiff with the very groups stoking this unrest. So I'm going to dive deep into Adam Schiff's panic, his ties that have been proven to be tied to pro-illegal activist groups, and the taxpayer-funded grant that could literally blow this whole thing wide open. So stick with me, guys, because, man, they dressed it up real nice, didn't they? They gave it a salary, benefits, a break room, and a badge. But let's call it what it really is, guys. Slavery with Wi-Fi. You're not free if you can't leave. You're not successful if you don't control your time. And you're not living if you're always asking for permission to rest, to travel, or to be with your family. Guys, the Liberty Pursuit Network was built to destroy that lie and replace it with real ownership, real income, and real life. So I want you to click the link in the pinned comment down below or in the description down below. Join the Liberty Pursuit Network today and escape the 9-to-5 grind and get your freedom back today. So while cities are burning and federal agents are being assaulted, what's Adam Schiff worried about right now? Adam Schiff is just overwhelmingly worried about optics. The California senator wasted no time bashing President Trump, calling the troop deployment unconstitutional, provocative, and dangerous. So I guess the riots weren't dangerous, right? I guess the riots weren't unconstitutional, right? Yes, you heard that right, guys. He's more upset about National Guard boots on the ground than foreign flag waving mobs throwing bricks at ICE agents. Can't make this stuff up, guys. Adam Schiff even accused Trump of trying to trigger martial law, claiming the president was inflaming tensions as if Trump, not the criminals, was the problem. Folks, this is panic mode. Adam Schiff knows the situation is slipping fast and his party's fingertips, they're all over it. So here's the thing, but it's not just rhetoric. Adam Schiff has been working hand in hand with one of the most radical open border organizations in California. And they're not just making noise. They're getting your taxpayer dollars. So let's talk about CHIRA, or I think they call it Cheer LA. It's like IRLA. This is the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Okay. They've been rather vocal in supporting this whole anti-ICE protest situation going on, and they're encouraging resistance to federal law enforcement. Oh, and guess who they officially endorsed for U.S. Senate in 2024? Adam Schiff. Not only that, he showed up to speak at one of their events, praising their radical agenda, backing sanctuary policies, and doubling down on his whole anti-ICE stance. But here's the kicker. Cheer LA, or this wild organization, received nearly $500,000 in taxpayer funds from a Biden-era DHS grant. That is $450,000 of your money handed to a group that is essentially tied to riots and federal obstruction. And Adam Schiff, he's silent about the funding, silent about the violence, but he's very loud about Trump trying to stop it. Now, of course, we're going to expose the left-wing media's desperate attempts to downplay this carnage, the outrage and the outrageous statements from Gavin Newsom, and of course, Maxine Waters, that have Americans shaking their heads right now. So stick with me, guys, because you're not going to believe this. So while federal officers are dodging bricks and businesses are set on fire, legacy media outlets, they're calling it an immigration protest. CNN's headline, Trump deploys National Guard after second day of immigration protest. unbelievable how they try to spin this thing, right? Not one mention of the fact that these are illegal immigration riots. No mention of the foreign flags. No mention of the rocks, the fire bombs, or the ICE agents being attacked in broad daylight. Because apparently, in their sick, twisted world, torching a police cruiser is just passionate advocacy. And if you dare call it a riot, well, then you're an extremist. The gaslighting, guys, is off the charts. But Americans are waking up, and it gets worse when you hear about California's top Democrats and what they're saying about all of this. So, Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, yes, the same governor who couldn't keep the lights on during wildfire season, he is now accusing President Trump of manufacturing a crisis in Los Angeles. Karen Bass, mayor of LA, insists everything's under control, while videos are showing federal buildings being vandalized and ICE vehicles being firebombed. And then, of course, there's Maxine Waters, who says that this is not about deportations. It's about Trump launching martial law against people of color. Maxine Waters' words, not mine, of course. She actually called for people to push back. Guys, Maxine Waters, what is wrong with that lady? Push back on what, right? Federal agents arresting these child abusers? Like, what? That's who these these are the types of people that these protests are about. That is who ICE removed, and Democrats, for whatever reason, are defending the mobs, trying to stop it. I don't even believe it, guys. But Trump, he's not backing down. And what he said last night just kind of lit a fire under this entire nation, guys. I want to share this message from Trump with you guys, his warning to the rioters, the federal arrests now underway, and the move that could change California's politics forever. You do not want to miss this. President Trump is not mincing words. Last night, he made it very clear. We will not tolerate lawlessness in our cities. Those who attack federal officers will be hunted down, arrested, and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And it's already happening, actually. The Department of Justice has begun issuing federal arrest warrants targeting rioters assaulting ICE agents and federal property. Guys, the FBI is tracking faces. They're using real-time surveillance, drone footage, and social media posts to track these people down. And once the smoke clears, every last person who raised a hand against law enforcement will be facing charges. This is what real leadership looks like. Not political games, not appeasement, accountability. They have drones, guys. They have facial recognition, AI technology. They're leveraging social media posts, real-time surveillance to find these folks. And now the public is watching and the tide is turning. Americans across the country, they're asking, why are we funding sanctuary cities that protect violent criminals? And these are legitimate questions. Why are leaders like Adam Schiff, Gavin Newsom, and Karen Bass silent when federal officers are being attacked? The backlash is building. Adam Schiff's re-election chances are tanking. Gavin Newsom's already a lame duck. Karen Bass, she's being blasted by residents and business owners who feel abandoned. Even left-leaning voters, they're starting to admit it too. Something is seriously broken. But the most important question of all is whether this moment will finally force California to change course, because if not, then when, right? So after 3 days of chaos, after law enforcement officers are hospitalized, after ICE arrested child predators and murder suspects, people are finally asking the question, how many more Americans have to suffer before these sanctuary policies end? Sanctuary cities were sold to us as compassion, but there's nothing compassionate about letting a repeat offender just walk free. There's nothing there's nothing just about protecting someone who's here illegally, who's been arrested for child abuse or attempted murder. This isn't about immigration. This is about basic safety for our citizens, for legal immigrants, for families trying to live in peace. And so now what's happening in LA is being watched by the entire nation. Hell, it's being watched by the entire world. Let's be honest. President Trump's decisive action contrasted with the cowardice of California's leadership. All this is doing is igniting a new national debate. Should states be allowed to defy federal law and shield violent criminals? Should activist groups that support riots be receiving taxpayer-funded grants? And most importantly, Is it finally time for the federal government to reclaim control from states that have lost it? Guys, with the 2026 midterms on the horizon and public sentiment shifting very quickly, this moment could mark the very beginning of the end for the sanctuary state model. California might not realize it yet, but the country is watching and voting. So what do you think? Should Adam Schiff be investigated for his ties to groups fueling this chaos? Do you support President Trump's decision to send in the troops? And is it time for the sanctuary cities to be just completely shut down for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Like this video if you stand for law and order, and do not forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you do not miss the next explosive update that I drop. Because trust me, guys, I promise this story here is far from over. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.